absolutely spectacular sunrise to start off day 5. We're sitting at around 5,000 feet and looking down across the Rangipo Desert. This hut just has such an amazing view right from the front porch. The primary goal for today is to reach the Waihohonu hut. Should be 8.17 miles with minimal elevation gain, under 400 feet. In fact, today should be the easiest day of the trek because it's a steady downward descent across the full mileage to the Waihohonu hut from 5,100 feet to 3,600 feet. Oh boy. Wind's still here, that's for sure. Starting at 8:15 once again. Temperature is 59 degrees. Not too unpleasant, even with the wind. It looks like our first obstacle of the day is going to be traversing the Whangaehu River Valley. I don't think it's as big as the one we did yesterday, but that remains to be seen. After that, we'll cross Takino Road, and then from there, it's supposed to be just a gradual descent down to the Waihohonu hut. Very enjoyable night in the Rangipo shelter. Beautiful sunset, beautiful sunrise. Slept really well. It was nice to be sheltered from the wind, which clearly hasn't died off at all. And staying at Rangipo is the first time I've felt like we've really made a lot of progress on this trip. The first 3 days we were more or less on the same side of the mountain, traversing pretty similar landscapes, but the drastic change to this more open, barren desert area has really highlighted just how far we've come. This cloud in front of us looks quite scary, but right behind us is blue skies, and catching peaks at the mountaintops, they're clear as well, so I think it's quite localized. Minor spits of rain coming out of this cloud, nothing too serious. There's actually this weather system that was forming all those rainbows last night. I don't see one right now, but it's possible. We appear to be dropping into the Whangaehu River Valley now. No water at the bottom of this one. Whangaehu River is dry. Made the crossing easy anyway. So we just entered one of the infamous Lahar zones on this trail. A Lahar is a volcanic mud flow. And from what I understand, what I was reading online, is essentially the lakes of water that pool up on the summit of the mountain eventually overflow. All that water drains down the big river valleys and it takes up all of the loose sediment with it, creates that mud flow. It can be very dangerous, so we're gonna boogie on through here. Look at these rock formations, oh my God. These rocks are so cool. Oh, this is where the river is. Okay. Yeah. Whangaehu River. It's very silty. Not clear like the rivers we've seen in the past few days. And I see a very interesting bridge up there. Whoa. So freaking cool. That's amazing.
That's sick.
Wow. Holy cow. We lived. Absolutely incredible that 5 days in, we can still be surprised by the landscape. What an amazing route. So when I was planning this trip, I understood that because of the wildfires, the road to Mangatepopo Hut was closed, but the track was still open. And so my plan for day 7 was to wake up at Mangatepopo Hut and walk out to Whakapapa village via the track. But the people we were sharing the cabin with last night informed us that no, actually the track is closed. So we might have to make an adjustment to the itinerary of this trip. And it looked like on the map that they had, which showed the wildfire zone, it appeared like the road might be open. So ideally, we'd still be able to camp at Mangatepopo Hut after going over the Alpine crossing and then just shuttle out to town on day 7 instead. But the plan right now is once we get to Waihohonu Hut, there's a ranger there and we're gonna ask them what's going on and we'll make a decision there. So much for steady decline. I knew better anyway. As nasty as all of that looks, it's been much more pleasant hiking today than yesterday. Between the cooler temperatures and the breeze. Actually, now that I mention it, the wind's let up quite a bit since we got into the valleys, which is nice. Flat and downhill? Wow, big flat.
Yeah, with a rover to be driving around.
Right? I see a tower up there.
Yeah, I saw that.
I wonder if that's the road. We have to cross a road.
Oh.
We're not walking down it like 2 days ago, we're just crossing it. I think the stuff that we've been walking on is pumice. This has no weight to it, and it's very porous. We've now arrived at one of two minor climbs for today. Most of today is downhill as we lose all the elevation we've gained over the past couple of days, but there are two small blips. This is the first one, and it looks like it climbs up to the road crossing. So I'm expecting to see that once we get to the top of this. So the light mist has graduated to a light rain, so we're gonna throw on shell layers. Things are starting to get damp. Crossing the road now. Windy up here. Cheese and rice. Oh. I've been growing ever more discontent with my more traditional 3-layer waterproof breathable rain jacket. Like when I did the Saco and Ballistic trips earlier this year and faced some pretty strong rain, I got absolutely soaked through in an hour or two. And I've cleaned it off, I've replenished the DWR coating. I think it's just past its lifespan because it is like 7 years old at this point. But rather than just go out and spend another $200-300, decided to look for alternatives. Came up with this. This is a $12 Frog Togs poncho, and it is not breathable. It is waterproof. It's completely waterproof. And the philosophy behind a big poncho like this is that air exchange happens just because it's so big, and so that's what keeps you from sweating out. Honestly, so far so good. And it's big enough to cover my backpack too. This is quite a beautiful valley. It's absolutely enormous. Very nice. Check out this cool tree. There's a few of them here. I'm just about convinced to take the poncho off. Haven't felt rain in 10 or 15 minutes and the sky has brightened up considerably. Give it a few more minutes though, just in case. Never mind. Rain's back. Glad I didn't take it off now. The good news is that we're already about halfway to Waihohonu Hut. I guess time flies when you're fleeing from the rain. Looks like we're crossing that river we peaked a little ways back. Hey! I just got a storm alert on my watch. Thanks. I think it might rain. Second minor climb just after the river crossing. Doesn't look like too much. There's that hill done. Oh. It's pretty over here.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like a mix of both now.
Yeah. Hey, it's green again.
Same shape.
I'd say the poncho worked all right. I've been warm and dry in here all day. I'm sure there's a better solution for alpine environments where it can get quite windy, but since we dropped into the trees and the wind died off, I've been quite content in here. The clouds are breaking up a bit now and the sun's been poking out to greet us from time to time. 2 miles left to Waihohonu Hut. Oh, jeez. That was fun. I'm a big fan of these trees. Just walking through the bed of this valley now. So Ohinapango Spring is just upriver that way. It's not so far, but Eric and Staggett are a bit in front of me and they went past it. I don't want to get too separated from them. Plus we've seen tons of amazing water features on this trip, so missing a spring doesn't really feel like a big deal. Really cool how it just disappears into the trees like that. Reaching Whangaehu Springs means that we're really close to Waihohonu Hut. Unbelievable how much the landscape has changed since this morning. Could not be more different. We appear to have made it to the big junction. Basically, if you were to turn left here, you'd end up doing the rest of the round the mountain trek, and you'd be heading due west back toward Whakapapa Village, past the Thomas Lakes. We're going this way to Waihohonu Hut, and hopefully we're going to continue going north over the Alpine Crossing, but at this point that's going to be dependent on weather. And just 100 feet or so beyond that is the hut. It's a very beautiful hut. Thanks. Joe, do you mind if I ask you some advice?
Yes, yes, of course, of course.
So,
yes.
yeah, so when I planned this trip, I was looking on the DOC website. I thought that Mangatapopo Road was closed, but the track was open.
Yes.
But we talked to some travelers at Rangipo last night, and they said that the track is also closed.
Yeah.
So we need to adjust our itinerary because the plan was to go over and around that way.
Yeah, cool. Well, if you hop inside, I'll bring you your cups of tea and we can look at the map together. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds
There's
fantastic.
a map in there, yeah, and we'll just like show you some cool ideas and stuff.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Cool.
Appreciate it. So that was 7.2 miles, 1,200 feet in almost 4 hours exact.
7 miles?
7.2, yeah.
That's pretty
It
good.
was our fastest day by far. So we've spoken to the ranger at the Waihohonu Hut. Her name is Jo, and she's been extremely helpful to us. Somehow I got my wires crossed when I was planning this trip. I could have sworn that Mangatapopo Road was closed, but the track from the hut to Whakapapa Village was still open. And so the plan was to hike out from Mangatapopo Hut to the village on day 7, but it's actually the other way around. So the track is closed, but the road is open. So we do need to adjust our itinerary slightly, but it's actually worked out in our favor because of the weather. Basically, if we had done the original itinerary, we would have had to do the Alpine crossing tomorrow, but it looks like the weather tomorrow is going to be pretty similar to today. And so it would have been unlikely that we actually saw very much up there. But now what the plan is, tomorrow we're just going to hike up to the Tongariro Hut. And that hut is closed for this year. It's being renovated, but they're still allowing camping there. And so we're gonna camp out at that spot tomorrow. That'll make tomorrow a relatively quick day, and we won't have to be in the rain for too long. And then on day 7, we'll do the Alpine crossing from Tongariro to Mangatapopo Hut past Mount Ruapehu. And we checked with Jo, and actually the weather on Saturday, which will be our day 7, is supposed to be very good. So that actually worked out really well for us. And once we get to the Mangatapopo Hut, there's another ranger there, and they can help us set up the shuttle, and we'll just walk down to where the road starts, and we'll hop on the shuttle, and the shuttle will take us back to Whakapapa Village. And I have a hotel for us lined up. It's actually the hotel that's right up from where we parked the car. It's called Scotel, and we'll spend the night there, and then we'll head back to Auckland Sunday morning for our flights out of here. Today, you know, it was a little bit tough. Obviously, being in wind-driven rain for several hours straight isn't the most pleasant experience, but I mean, we've been out here for 5 days, and this is the first day that we've actually run into rain, so I still feel like we've been extremely fortunate with the weather. Also, of all the days that it could have rained on this trip, today was probably the best one, because it was just definitely the easiest day physically so far, because it was almost entirely downhill. Climbing in a rain jacket kind of sucks because you get really hot and sweaty underneath it, and you end up getting wet anyway. So because we didn't have to do that, it made today a lot more pleasant. And it was also our quickest day so far. I think we've made it from Rangipo to Waihohonu in 4 hours exactly. So yeah, really just another thing that's really lined up in our favor.
Food there. A lot smaller now. You said you didn't look like the village. Oh shit, it's ready.
I've done that. We flew in, drove here, and started hiking on the first day.
Wow.